Everyone says 20s are the best time of your life. Today, I just turned 25. I'm halfway through it and I'm looking for a refund. I absolutely hate my birthdays now. But it wasn't always the case. I used to love birthdays growing up because it used to be so much fun, especially leading up to it. The wait, the excitement, which cake are we gonna get? The Spider-Man cake is still my favorite. Who's going to come? What gifts will they bring? The food, the happy chaos, the attention, it used to be a blast. But now, the older I get, the sadder I become. With every birthday, I feel like a slice of my youth is stripped away from me. Birthdays now act as a nasty reminder of where I am in life. Because when you're really young, birthdays are all about what you get. But as an adult, it becomes about what you haven't yet. Things like how far have I progressed? Did I get better at something? Did I grow? Did I have fun at least? How close am I to my dreams? It feels like getting a report card from school, but this one is from life. And I'm never scoring enough. I'm just left feeling like I'm wasting the best years of my life. But why? Why do I believe that this decade is supposed to be the best? And so I wondered, and this is what I think. You see, 20s are sandwiched by your teen years and your 30s, and both have their goods and bads. Teenage is amazing. You're young, full of energy, you have no responsibility, but you're under strict parental supervision, which means you have no freedom and you have no access to money as well. You have to ask for everything that you want, and all you want at that time is to grow up. But 30 solves some of those problems. You finally start making money, you finally have freedom, but you also have responsibilities and they kind of fight against each other. And on top of that, your physical health takes a beating. But your 20s is a sweet spot, the best of the both worlds. Your physique is still at its peak, you start making a little money, you finally have freedom. Responsibilities, well, they're out of your hand. But you can literally do some of the things you've always wanted to do. But for this to happen, you need a huge luck factor of real life shit not coming in the way. On paper, we have wings, but do we fly? This is a children's story. A small fishing town sat beside a quiet lake, which was their livelihood. Everybody built their boats the same way. Wide, heavy, impossible to sink. One child was building his own boat alongside his father. Now these boats, they did not go far, but they stayed afloat. The lake is enough, the people said. Storms are rare. But one night, the child watched the lake narrow into a cave far away in the distance, and he wondered, what's in the cave? But the boat needed to explore the cave had to be thinner, smaller, lighter. They break sometimes. So the child thought, what if we get stuck up there? What if the boat breaks? What if there is nothing of value inside the cave? Fear clashed and he strayed away. One day his boat was finished. Heavy, big, impossible to sink. It also could not go very far. Now the story doesn't end with the child setting sail. It ends with him growing up, sitting in the boat, oars in hand, too old to steer anymore, but with the same question. What was inside the cave? We are taught very early on to sit and listen, to follow a tested roadmap, a safe formula that ensures security because stability is peaceful. But at the same time, it is scary to defy all odds, to flip the script, to listen to no one but your heart, taking a risk, burning resources, choosing experiences over guarantees, betting on a life you truly want instead of one that makes sense. Because what if I'm wrong? What if I, for my own decisions, cannot provide for my loved ones in a moment of desperate need or urgency? What if I become a fuck-up, a cautionary tale, a wasted potential? I won't be able to live with that either. But then again, living your life in a state of constant fear of the future, optimizing for what-ifs, holding your breath throughout your youth, prepping for a disaster that might happen, doesn't sound like the most fulfilling endeavor either. And I feel lost, and I look for answers. What about the people who have been here, done this? People who are older than us? What advice do they have for us, for me?
Make a plan. Look at what you're interested in. Get disciplined about something.
Travel. Just travel, go abroad. Travel. I didn't travel as much in my 20s.
At the very least, in your 20s, please stack cash. Please stack money.
In general, I would say save after you've learned to spend and enjoy your life.
I gotta become a doctor. I better get that job at Goldman Sachs, etc., etc., etc. As a person who's destined for a life of misery, quite honestly.
If you're 20s, work day and night.
Really?
Do as many things, learn as much as you can, fail as often as possible.
What about work-life balance in your 20s?
Fuck it.
Travel the world if you can.
I probably wish I'd spend a little bit more time to travel a little bit more.
Travel while you can.
You have to build some things upon which you can at least acquire some form of financial freedom, some form of financial satisfaction by the time you're 23.
Right now, you are in exploration mode, not build mode. You are in learn mode, not build mode.
You're young, for God's sake. You need to have some fun. You need to be open. You're only in your 20s once, right?
What you need to be doing is you need to be working to the point where you get fulfillment because you are doing it for the glory of God.
You see, it gets even more confusing because everybody has had a different life, a different setting, different circumstances, different perspective, different cultures, and henceforth, different pieces of advice. And as confusing as it is to choose, it is equally scary. Because if you decide to work it up in your 20s, you become an underlived 30-year-old. And if you decide to live it up in your 20s, you become an underskilled 30-year-old. And both of them sound absolutely horrible. So people like us, we choose to balance between responsibility and freedom, between money and soul. But you only end up attaining mediocrity at both ends. We all want to live a life we truly desire, but we cannot ignore money in the process. It's really important. You might have a dream or a passion that requires funding, or you might have responsibilities that cannot wait. I know I do. So now you got to work a job to make the money, but also work on your dreams at the same time when you have to work out, because you don't have diabetes by the time you achieve your goals. You have to learn about taxes and investments, because compounding gets better the earlier you start. Find time for your hobbies, your social life, then grow as a person, work on your personality, read books, be smart. And when we burden ourselves with so much that even before we reach a moment of epiphany, a huge chunk of time has already passed. I'm 25 now. I'm closer to 30 than I am to 20. Parents are getting old, life is coming up, and this time that I thought was supposed to be the best is turning out to be the least certain and the most confusing. And I don't know what the right answer is, and I wouldn't for the next 10 to 20 years. But I know if there was a time to try to listen to your heart, it's now. Because I want to do it in a time when I can make mistakes, in a time when I can recover, in a time when I have time. And my best bet is there is no right answer. You get to define the life you live if you're lucky. And there will be regrets nonetheless. But I'll tell you this. I started making this video back in August. This is February. In a few months, I'll turn 26. Time flies, and whatever path you decide to do or go, do it, because the clock will keep ticking.
And you are young and life is long, and there is time to build today. And then one day you find 10 years have gone behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting